Jack Toledano, all or none according to Jack. I hope everybody is well. On a very somber note, I am very sad to announce, I'm sure you've heard by now, that Ozzy Osbourne has passed away. Um, he was 76 years old, and he had suffered from Parkinson's disease, as do currently, Glenn Tipton of Judas Priest also suffers from it. He can't perform on stage any longer. Uh, Little known secret, my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, lived in Italy, had it, and she started to. So I went back in 1970 when I was 6 years old, and she still seemed like she was in good health. But then I went back in the summer of '72. I could see that she was starting to have the effects of the disease, and she was starting to deteriorate. I went back again in 1977, and yeah, not good. She had deteriorated that much in 5 years. She could barely walk. Her hands were shaking. It was not a pleasant thing. Um, Nowadays, they have better medication to slow the disease down, but it eventually takes its toll, and it got a really good one today. Ozzy Osbourne. Um, what can I say about Ozzy's life? So I'm not going to delve into a full history, but everybody knows the story. They started in '68 out of Birmingham, England. They had their first album in 1970. They, along with Deep Purple and Led Zeppelin, they're the ones who really took, uh, well, I'd say they took psychedelic rock and kind of turned it into more hard rock. And, uh, and, and then from there, uh, several years later, um, that building block that they created, a band named Judas Priest, my favorite band, took that and they basically obliterated the blues out of it, made it heavier, faster, uh, more leather, more more metal studs, hence heavy metal, and that's around 1980. That's where the term came from, and when you get to 1977, 78, Black Sabbath was starting to tire as a band. You could see that their better days were behind them, that first incarnation of Black Sabbath. So basically, a band like Van Halen came forth and overtook them in their own concerts. Uh, they were the future at that time. Basically, Van Halen, Judas Priest, this other fledgling metal band, Iron Maiden. Those were the up and coming bands. So change needed to be made. Ozzy was let go from Sabbath. Uh, Sharon Osbourne basically rescued him, sobered him up. He started his own solo band. Um, the Blizzard of Oz album came along. The name of the second album escapes me, but I do know that I would say so. I'm not the biggest Sabbath or Ozzy Osbourne fan. I was more of a Ronnie James Dio guy, but I do know that Ozzy was a huge building block. He was a huge reason why this whole thing that we come to know and love, heavy metal, came to be. There might not be a Judas Priest without Ozzy Osbourne. So I'm going to actually read to you a few things that were written, if I can find them. Read them right from my phone. So first from Geezer Butler. Goodbye, dear friend. Thanks for all those years. We had some great fun. Four kids from Aston. Who'd have thought? So glad we got to do it one last time back in Aston. Love you. Um, Judas Priest themselves. Our hearts are broken like millions around the world. Words can't express the love and loss that we are all feeling. Sharon, may God surround you and your beautiful family with love, peace, and light. Ozzy, you will never leave us. Your music is eternal. God, God blesses you now more than ever after you blessed us all through your magnificent life. Rob, Glenn, Ian, Richie, and Scott, not to forget Andy Sneed. So that's that. Before I sign off, I have this beautiful uh, picture that to show you. I mean, it looks like it could have been generated with AI, but still a beautiful picture nonetheless. But before I get into that, so I would say I liked Ozzy best when he went solo in those early years in the 1980s. Uh, I would have liked to be like this other friend of mine who went to pretty much every goddamn concert that came to Nassau Coliseum, but I had stricter parents, obviously, so I had to keep my grades up to go to shows. So, uh, and you know what? I would pick and choose my battles. I would go to shows that I really want, or ask to go to shows that I really wanted to go to. Um, Now, Ozzy, I did the next best thing. Because I lived so, or grew up and lived so close to Nassau Coliseum, I actually rode my bicycle up to Nassau Coliseum the night of the concert. And you have those people standing outside selling T-shirts, trying to make a few extra bucks. I bought one of those T-shirts. I think they were, I don't know what, $10 at that time, and I used to wear that shirt to school a lot. And I do remember my first day of college. My first college I went to was Nassau Community College, or otherwise known as Turnpike Tech, or 13th grade, whatever you want to call it. But my first day, I I I picked this kid up that I was friends with in high school. Uh, His name was Paul, and a real stoner. And of course, we're drive pick him up at his house. We're driving to the Nassau Community to go to my first fucking day of class. Pulls out a joint. So what am I supposed to do? So I smoked it with him, and I got wasted. There I am in that Ozzy Osbourne T-shirt. So I go to my first class, or my one of my classes that first day was oral communications they gave me. Could you imagine that? You got to get up in front of the room, and you gotta learn how to speak. You gotta learn how to speak in a social situation. And you know what? A lot of merit to that class. But that day, what did she do? She had us talk to somebody we never met before, and then get up in front of the room and talk about that person. And there I am, wasted in a freaking Ozzy Osbourne shirt. So this guy's, he gets up there and he's like, "Yeah, this guy's obviously a metal stoner head, and he's all whizzed out with his Ozzy Osbourne." Oh my God. That day I had an epiphany. I'm like, I can't do this every day. I gotta, I gotta straighten my act out. I didn't stop at the concert shirts, but getting stoned before class, not a good thing. But uh, Ozzy did have some problems with drugs in his life. He battled it, and I do know people that are alcoholics, and I'm proud to say some of those people really turned their life around, and made themselves better people for it, going 20, 25 years sober. Uh, Looks like Ozzy turned his life around. When he met Sharon, had that band. There's some negatives there. Randy Rhoads was in the band, and he tragically died. Uh, then there were signs that years later about guitarists and other musicians in Ozzy's band that didn't get their due that they were deserved, such as royalties and songwriting credits and things of that nature. But I'm pretty much going to try and only stick to his positives. I mean, here's a guy who basically helped create a genre. And you know what? He did get back together with Black Sabbath on a few occasions back in, I think it was 2013. They made the album 13, and you know what? It sounded more of a doom metal, but it was a throwback to the old, really good Ozzy Osbourne, or rather Black Sabbath. And you know what? It sounded great. Made me love and respect them all over again. So, uh, great body of work. Thank you, Ozzy. Um, all right, I think I'll put that picture up now. So let's do that. Uh, just, I saw this artist rendering of both Ozzy and Randy Rhoads. They're together and up in heaven, rock and roll heaven, joined by many other greats. Uh, Ozzy got his wings today. You will be missed. It's definitely not going to be the same without you, Ozzy. Uh, I mean, granted, you had your farewell concert back in, I don't know, it was like around the 4th of July that weekend, July 5th. I know some of my relatives upstate, they're like, "Oh, you're not watching the concert?" And you know what? I don't have cable upstate, and I don't, so I didn't have the means to really watch it, or I didn't have the crowd of people to watch it with. So, but who knew? Who knew that it would he would go so soon after that? So, my condolences to Sharon Osbourne and the Osbourne family. Uh, I really feel for you. He seemed like a very good family man. Uh, that's it. Rest is, as they say, history. Uh, this is Jack Toledano speaking for All or Not according to Jack. Uh, say a prayer for Ozzy this evening. Listen to a song. Um, I I do these 90-minute playlists, and I'm not looking to plug that right now, but I did create one for Black Sabbath, I don't know, a month, 2 months ago. So if you want to celebrate Ozzy's life, go check out the 90 minutes of Black Sabbath. It's all my favorite Ozzy Osbourne Sabbath. No other member, no other singers. These 90 minutes are dedicated only to Ozzy. So check it out and enjoy it, and rock on. Peace be with you. Yeah, we're we're getting up there in years. We're not going to be around forever. So as I tell my children, live for today, because you just don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. It was actually my son Jason who's enjoying his life. He flew to Italy for a wedding, and for to go do some sightseeing and do some fine dining of some great Italian food. And he was the one who actually called me from Rome to give me the news today. So thank you for that, Jason. But again, peace be with all, and we'll talk soon. Jack Toledano. All or none according to Jack. Have a good night, all.